My name is Grace Van Hoewyk. I am in Chi Omega sorority at OSU. I graduate in May, so I'm a senior here. So I started going to church, started to know about God, believe in God, understand who He was, but I never really had a relationship with Him. It was more of a checklist where I would go to Bible study occasionally, go to church occasionally, just kind of doing things through the motions, no relationship with God. This continued all the way until I was in college, and then when I was in college, I met this girl named Lexi. And Lexi was a girl who I was immediately drawn to. She reached out to me to get coffee with her, and I just wanted to be her best friend. So Lexi worked for Student Mobilization, which is a campus ministry here at OSU. She invited me to Sophomore night, which is a bi-weekly event where they host just a sermon, just hang out with friends. It's a really awesome night. And then she invited me to this summer program. I ended up going, didn't really know what it was about, just signed up thinking that, I'd have a fun summer, learn more about God, just kind of keep doing what I was doing. So when I got to Kaleo, it was so much deeper and richer than I ever could have expected. I did weekly Bible studies, I did weekly book studies, I had a chance to share my faith for the first time. There were weekly nights where we would have a sermon and a message, just a similar thing to what we would do on campus. And so one night we had a sumo night at Kaleo, and there was a talk about lordship. And so I had realized that I had been going through the motions with God, and that even though I believed in Him and knew of Him, I didn't have a deep, intimate relationship with Him like the free gift He was offering me. My life radically changed that day. So evangelism was a huge part of Kaleo, and it's just something that's kind of embedded in everything we do. I realized that I had this incredible news and that I didn't want to keep it to myself. Then when the summer was over and I came back to school, I was just hooked. I wanted everyone to know what I had been told, that I had been told the greatest news that anyone could ever hear, and that I wanted to tell everyone. I met this girl named Chloe. Chloe and I would go to coffee shops and meet up weekly. We would read our Bibles together. Eventually I started picking out what we would read. We would read it together. I would ask questions, just kind of trying to cater to what Chloe was experiencing in her life, and just planting seeds in her life and watching God grow them.
My name's Chloe Paddock. I'm a junior, and I'm a Chi Omega here at OSU. I grew up, my parents, neither of them, I would say, are believers or following Christ, but my grandparents are both believers, and so they would bring my sister and I to church with them. I went to church camps. I did all the things that you could do through the church. When I hit high school, it was just this idea of if I do enough good things, then God will love me. And so I came into college, and I kind of had that same idea that if I just do all the right things, that I go to church on Sundays, but that was kind of the extent of my relationship with God. I meet Grace literally the first day of school, and she was like, we should go get Chick-fil-A. And so we got dinner, and immediately just my relationship with her, the way she talked about God was like she was friends with God. I was just really interested and kind of just drawn to her in a way that I couldn't explain. She ended up becoming my big in my sorority. And somebody who I spent a lot of time with my freshman year. She shared a verse with me, Romans 6:23, and kind of walked me through what it looked like to follow God. And it was then that I realized, wow, I don't think I'm following God. I think I know a lot about who He is. I don't think I have a relationship with Him. She would meet with me and teach me how to read my Bible and teach me how to pray. It wasn't until the end of my freshman year that I decided to go all in and make Jesus the Lord of my life. I feel like Kaleo was really foundational to my walk with God. I learned about God's heart for the world and His heart for evangelism, and I think that has really impacted the trajectory of my life. Going into my sophomore year, I was a little timid to share the gospel just because it felt like a little scary for me. However, I ended up discipling my little in my sorority in the fall, and I just really caught the vision of what it means to multiply your life and make disciples. And then in the spring of that year is when I met Rebe. Rebe was someone who was just instantly down for anything. She wanted to be a part of everything. I would say she's fiery and she's very vulnerable, but she's also somebody who's really trustworthy and loyal. She stands up for what she believes in, which is something I really respect about her.
I'm Rebecca Purser, and I'm a sophomore Chi Omega here at OSU. I was very fortunate. I was raised in a Christian household. I can't remember a time where I haven't known the name Jesus or what He's done for us. I was not someone that would apply those characteristics to my life or things that I was taught. Throughout the rush process, I was extremely nervous. I wanted to put my best foot forward, and honestly, I had my heart set on Chi before we even started. Throughout my first semester of freshman year, I would say I didn't really want the idea of exploring faith. It wasn't until about my second semester at OSU when I started hanging out with a couple of girls in Cayo that are a part of STUMO. And their life was drastically different than the Christian life that I had seen before. They were actively living out the gospel, having fun without any of the distractions of a worldly life or those temptations, and I found myself wanting to be around them every single day. Throughout Chloe's life and my interactions with her, I could just see how genuine she was. It wasn't something to where I questioned her intentions. I didn't find myself wondering if any of the things she were telling me were untrue or untrustworthy. I was openly invited into their friend group and continuously invited to all these events or playing nerds downstairs and just running around Greek Row, and it was just so much fun getting to see her love and genuine care for those around her. It wasn't until training at Cayo where Chloe went through Romans again with me, and I kind of realized when I was sharing it for the first time that this lady's story was no different than my own, and I truly wasn't following God. I immediately decided to go to Cayo. I gave my life to Christ the first STUMO night at Cayo when we had learned about Barabbas and truly what that visual sacrifice, like the first official transition that we see Jesus make for actually trading places with a sinner. So going back to campus, I truly just wanted to have that kind of relationship with someone in the newer PC. I came back from Cayo hungrier than ever for the gospel and wanting to share God's name. And it was just really cool getting the opportunity to meet the new girls in the PC through recruitment. So coming back from Cayo, I was really seeking out a girl that I could pour into. And through that process, I met a couple of the freshmen, but really that's when I met Kate. She's been extremely attentive, faithful, available, and teachable. It's been such a gift and then a blessing just to see her want to learn and continue to reach out and accept my invitations to meeting.
My name is Kate Gilbo. I'm a freshman here at OSU, and I'm a Chi Omega. Growing up in a Christian school, I went there for about 14 years, so pre-K to my senior year. I feel like I viewed Christianity as more of a religion versus a relationship because I was learning so much about the biblical context of the Bible, which is amazing, but I never really learned how to apply it to my own life. After graduation, I kind of struggled with living for the world and living for God, and it wasn't until my brother got back from Cayo this summer and shared Romans with me. And we were sitting down at my kitchen table and we were going through it, and that was when I really realized that I can't live for both anymore. And I was like, now is the time to make that decision. After joining Cayo, I was kind of nervous that I wouldn't find my people, but the people that I found in Cayo are part of STUMO. They've been incredible. I started meeting with Rebecca Purser. She's also my big in the sorority, so it's really cool. Through her, I met Chloe Paddock and Grace Van Hoewyk and Maddie Paddock and the Willisons and everyone. They've just been such a light to me, and seeing the way that they live out their life made me want to do the exact same. Something that sticks out to me is she is so bold, and I really admire that because that's something that I've struggled with my whole life is being bold in my faith and in my decisions, and she's really challenged me in that area. She's more than just someone leading me, she's one of my best friends. I've just never met someone more that relies on the Lord and seeks Him in all that they do, and she's just so consistent. Just seeing how that they've impacted my life, I've already thought about the girls coming in next year as we're going through the process of kind of working through the new PC coming in and all of those things. Just, I want to be a light to them like the girls have been to me, who made me feel so comfortable and so seen and just showed me the love of Christ, because you never know what someone's been through or if they have or haven't been witnessed to. It's just down a line, grade by grade by grade. Everyone's leading each other, and it's really incredible, and I'm excited to do the same thing.